Hey guys, it's Ping, and we are out here at Cahuilla Creek Raceway today with some Beta motorcycles. Beta rep Rodney Smith, off-road legend, motocross legend. Thanks for bringing these out today, Rodney.
Oh, you're welcome.
It was really, for me, a good introduction to the model and the different lines. And man, there's a lot of bikes that Beta has. As we kind of dive into the more of the off-road stuff, I'm trying to learn as much as I can about all the different lines. This is the RR and the RRS.
Correct.
S meaning street legal.
Yep.
And what
That's kind of a new line for us this year.
Right, and what I learned was they're way more similar than they're not. Same chassis, same engines really, just different.
Pretty much the RRS and the RR, and then also there's an RR racer version. The chassis motors are pretty much all similar. Definitely the RRS and the RR are very close to being the same bike.
And this has, as we mentioned, a speedometer, the Voyager GPS,
Yep.
A key ignition,
Yep.
and a little bit different silencer like that.
Yeah, just for sound for street, and
Yeah.
also a canister, you know, for smog.
Right.
That's kind of the main differences.
And I was really surprised. This is obviously a 350, this is a 430, but I was really surprised how similar they felt.
Yeah.
I expected the street version to be very choked off.
Yep, no, it's not.
And it was not.
No.
It's very lively, lots of power, especially for a 350. I was blown away, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it basically has an evac canister, and that's about the only difference in the motors. So it still runs really good, a little bit different sound, but yeah, I wish I had a race edition here to show you, but yeah, they're all real close.
And there's also the X-Trainer line that you guys have, which are a little bit smaller versions, kind of for...
It's a little bit smaller chassis. It's kind of for the old guy, or you know, a new guy, a new rider or whatever. It gives them a little bit more confidence, being a little bit smaller chassis, not so much just lower to the ground, but the whole chassis is smaller.
Yeah, it looks like it shrunk down about 10 or 15% or something.
Which makes it real, you know, a little bit more confidence on the bike, and so they don't really need 12 inches of travel. So I think it's got 8 or 9 or something. You know, they lowered the travel down a little bit. A smaller chassis, but it's still a good off-road bike.
Yeah, it's crazy how many models Beta makes.
So even in the 4-stroke line, like you mentioned, we have the 350. This is a 430 here, but we also have a 390 and we also have the 480. So we have 4 different 4-strokes. We have a dual sport one too, but it's really the 480.
Okay.
So
lots of different models. If you guys have not gone and checked out all of the different bikes they make, there's really something.
And it's amazing how they all have a little bit different feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's talk about these two bikes today. These are the ones that we spent some time on. We hammered around the GP track here. We did a bunch of trails, from tight rocky stuff to whooped out sand stuff, you name it. And really for me, like I said, I thought this would feel like a dual sport bike, you know, very heavy and clunky. And honestly, it just felt real similar to that one. Other than I had a, you know, speedometer going.
Right. You know, Beta's got away with, I don't know how they've done it, but you know, basically taking this bike and making it street legal. It's great for off-road. It's great for on the road. You know, the other day I was riding this one. You know, I was hitting speeds of 80, 90 miles an hour with it cruising right along. So it's got good highway speed. So it's not bad on the pavement. But like you just said, in the off-road part of it, it's really just a good off-road bike. You know, it's not a dual sport bike. It's really a good off-road bike.
No, very capable. It blew me away because I did not expect that out of it.
The difference between that bike, the street legal one, and our off-road bike isn't much. I mean, they're the same bikes.
Yeah. And a lot of times, maybe you guys have noticed this, something that has a speedometer or has the fob or the GPS on the front end feels kind of heavy and overweighted. I did not feel that at all.
No.
That was maybe my biggest surprise of the day. Was I was expecting that kind of wallowy, heavy front end feel. Does not happen.
No, not at all.
So very, very capable engine too. I was stoked that I could put this thing in first gear and just billy goat up really tight sections, very slow in first. But then, like you said, if I wanted to go to
kind of those same sections, I was in second, just kind of feather in the clutch using. So it's still got good torque. Yeah, it pulls down low. Yeah,
very capable, no matter how tight or technical you're getting. But then this guy, street legal, you can be doing 85 on the highway, no problem. So to have a bike that can do both of those is really...
It really is. It's kind of an all-in-one bike.
It's rare.
Yeah.
It is. It really is. Which of these two do you prefer?
I like the 430, a little bit more power, a little bit more bottom. My personal bike at home is a 480.
Okay.
I'm kind of an old school guy where I like the torque and a little bit more power. And like you said, the weight's the same. It really hasn't changed any. It's the same chassis, same motor. So the displacement's just bigger. So my own personal opinion, I have my own personal dual sport bike, which is 480. I love it. Best bike. If I could only have one bike, I'd keep it. But over the 430, 350, the 390 is even kind of a fun bike. Actually, I'm going to get to ride it next week in Kentucky. So I'm looking forward to it because it's been a little bit of a while since I've been on the 390. But like I was saying earlier, they all have a little bit of different characteristic, you know?
Yeah.
So the 390 is going to be a little bit more revvy and kind of like play bike faster, you know? So I'm looking forward to riding it for a little bit.
Well, they were a lot of fun. There were so many different things about it I was impressed with. I will say I missed handguards on this. You and I both kind of bloodied
Yeah,
it
we
up
both got our.
So the handguards are a bonus, and I strongly recommend those depending on the type of riding you're doing. But the brakes, the clutch, everything about it was just very well built.
Yeah, it's all top of the line product, you bet.
I never felt like, gosh, I wish this was better. I wish it did this better.
It's got good Nissan brakes, and yeah, no, they're good.
So all the way around, the handling, it handles exactly like you'd expect an off-road bike to. It's very, very plush on the little bumps. You know, as a motocross guy, I hit a couple of jumps and kind of sent it off, and it will bottom out, right? I mean, it's not designed for that really, but
for the off-road, kind of rougher off-road stuff, it still worked pretty good.
It's great.
Yeah.
I mean, we had some big sand whoops from rollers, and I was either, I doubled through them, or I could just kind of manual and hammer across them, and it handled it fine. Sometimes you get a bike, these off-road bikes tend to be heavier, and the way the suspension works, it'll start swapping or get sketchy on you. I didn't have any of that feeling. So
We probably should mention, probably the only difference over stock on these two bikes is the only thing we changed out was the seats.
yeah, that's right. And we did do a little test on these seats, so check back in for that. We went to the folks at Seat Concepts just for some different styles. There's a race version, and this is the comfort version. It's got the little wings here. We all kind of secretly really like this seat, but maybe we're just old farts who like the cushion and the extra comfort. But we'll have a separate video on those seats that we tested. Other than that, this is how you buy
My
them.
main point is I wanted to let everybody know that we did ride them in stock form.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And all in all, just really stoked. The electric start on these was so nice. I'm not messing with getting them going. Obviously on the street version, having a key is great because you can park it, pull the key and leave it, not worry about it getting stolen. The GPS worked great. We were just I was using it for speedo and stuff like that, but a lot of great features on that Voyager GPS. Replaceable mirror that you can pop on and off. We pulled it off just so that we weren't losing it in the bushes and trees today. But all around, fantastic bikes. Really exceeded my expectation of kind of what, especially this one, the street legal version, was capable of.
Yeah.
So thanks so much for bringing these out. We're gonna have a lot more tests of different beta bikes. There's so many different models. We're gonna try to break down kind of each one as we have time and as Rodney can bring them down and show you a little bit about what each one does and where it might be best suited. So stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching, Rodney.
Yep,
Appreciate
thank you.
bringing
Thank
these
you guys.
down.
Yep.
And we'll see you guys real soon. Stay tuned.